The issue has reached people's homes. Now it is real and direct, affecting the daily lives of families in every neighborhood in the country. Could this be more than just a children's book that does not align with the principles of certain families? Confess that I was surprised to see this case being analyzed by the Supreme Court. Shannon Bream showed how thousands of parents spoke out against the presence of these books for their children. So the question that remains is, could this discussion touch on something deeper about what is happening throughout the country? Phil, this is certainly a very significant thing. Many people have been waiting for a firm position on parents' rights to their children's education for some time now, and this decision represents a significant step forward in that direction. The Supreme Court has clearly sided with families. These parents have shown courage in taking on the education system, and what makes this case so important is that it makes it clear, children do not belong to the state, nor are families hostages to the public system. It was shocking to hear Judge Jackson suggest during a hearing that parents should simply pull their children out of public school. But this idea ignores the reality for millions of families. Not everyone can afford private school, and even among those who can, many do not want their children to attend institutions that directly conflict with their religious and moral values. Now, with this ruling, these families have the right to refuse such content in schools. This represents a huge victory for parental autonomy. Harris. In my view, this decision could pave the way for something even bigger. A move that has been more common in Republican-run states, giving families the freedom to decide how and where their children should go to school. This includes, for example, ensuring that part of the public education money can be directed to educational options chosen by parents themselves. As is already the case in some more conservative states, not everyone can afford to provide a special education, and that is precisely why this Supreme Court decision could be a game-changer. Phil, now I want to go a little deeper. My question is, does this permission apply only to books or to other subjects as well? For example, if the content in the classroom conflicts with the parents' religious or moral principles, do they also have the right to exclude their children from this exposure? Phil, yes, absolutely. Look, Harris, it is the parents who have the duty to educate children, not the government, and certainly not the school system. It is the parents who have the authority over how to raise and educate their children, and this principle cannot be ignored. What the Supreme Court did was reaffirm a right that has always existed but that has recently been disrespected. The mission of schools should be to educate citizens who are prepared for life, with knowledge, skills, and critical thinking. They should not function as ideological instruments or arenas for cultural disputes. The school environment is not a place to impose political ideas or passing social trends. This Supreme Court decision represents an important milestone for American democracy and for the values that support freedom of choice. It also serves as a warning to the courts. It is not up to the judiciary to override the decisions of the executive branch, even when there are disagreements. The role of judges is to interpret the law, not to replace the will of elected officials. Unfortunately, we see cases where judges try to impose their own ideas, trampling on the Constitution and the popular vote. But today, with this decision, it is clear, the rights of families come first, and the freedom to raise children based on their beliefs is protected. Harris, we are still waiting for the President of the United States to make a surprise press conference, but it is already clear that this court decision promises to have a national impact. Jonathan,